all the mods 10 has some very expensive items, and crafting those items can take some time, unless you have the right upgrades. Okay, I've noticed an issue, and that's that our base is very inefficient. Like for example, we have Skystone being made in an inscriber, when it can actually be made in a crusher that we have right over here. And to be honest, that's the smallest issue we've had. Like I've created multiple of these devices to keep our system stocked, when there's literally a thing called an ME requester that does the same thing and only takes up a single block. Then we have the cross-dimension access and so much more, which means we're going to start with the dimension card. It just requires 4 infinity range boosters, which we made before, 4 nether stars, and an ender eye. Because now we can take this card, go into our wireless access point, and actually just swap it out the infinity range booster. And now if I actually disconnect this from our system, let's say if we go into the end, we still have access. And so the only other thing in this room is now these things. Just a couple co-processing units and an ME interface. And we can just take that and just connect it to the system. And then if I check everything else we have, we can just go ahead, right click an item in, and then enter the amount we want, which I'm gonna keep 500 regular clay in the system, and submit changes. And then when we have everything all entered in multiple machines, we can just destroy all of this and all of this as well, which will make some room for more ME controllers, as I want to fix this situation. So I believe we can make a total of like a 7x7x7, but I have no idea what the most efficient way to build this is. So I'm just going to build that for now. And then we'll have to sort out this issue, because seeing as we have 2 different controllers that aren't linked, well, our machine doesn't want to work. So after throwing in a few cable anchors, I should be able to build this ME wireless connector, which you're going to have to make in a crystal assembler along with an ME wireless setup kit. I can actually pull off each side of the controller and then add a wireless connector. And if I go to a separate area, like for example, under our inscribers, I can go ahead and throw that down and actually connect these 2 together. And seeing as now those are on this other system, we can't actually autocraft those anymore until everything is switched over. So let's just make sure we connect our main system to this part now, which I'm actually gonna use a black cable for, seeing as they will not connect because they're different colors. And then I'll throw that down there as well. And we'll just use a cable anchor to make sure those don't connect. So just destroying these 2 controllers. Actually, I can just connect it right here. And I do believe I'm going to also throw our auto crafters onto one section as well, because I do know they're probably going to use a full 32 channels altogether. And our computers can go on their own one as well. And then we'll actually put our separate storage linked to the same section as our drives. And then our hostile neural network will be on its own also, as that is most definitely taking up quite a few channels. We might actually need to allocate even more to that. And then it's just a whole lot more of connecting other systems. Now I want to deal with how slow these things work, because we're creating all these different type of circuits in the inscribers, but you can actually create 9 at a time in the same amount of time it takes to do 1. And that's actually in the slicer. They're not actually too bad, just requires an inscriber universal press or all the other presses combined. So we'll just make the universal, then just 8 engineering processors, an extended machine frame, and a stone cutter. However, the extended machine frame actually requires nitro infused ingots. And I don't think we've actually made any of those before. So I definitely want to make a pattern through the crystal assembler. However, I'm not sure how much water it actually needs. So I'll just put a bucket in for now. And then once we actually create one, we'll just look to see how much water it uses. And that'll allow us to grab the frame and make the slicer that I will just replace one of these with and update our patterns. Actually, I believe we can replace all of these now. And the only problem being is we're actually gonna have to autocraft these blocks, but all our extended pattern providers are completely full. So this entire room is gonna need to be updated, which means we're gonna need a lot more of the extended pattern providers and a lot more of the molecular assemblers. Well, the extended molecular assemblers, that is. And I do want to say this is going to be the kind of pattern I want to go for. Just kind of crisscrossing them all the way up until they're stacked 4 high. So everything is covered. But you might be saying, Drag, you're going to need a lot more co-processing units because each one of these can handle up to 8 jobs. And you would be correct. That's a whole nother problem we'll get to eventually. That being said, when it's all placed down, it should look a little something like this. Don't ask me what shape that is. I don't know. But now, It's just the grueling process of throwing acceleration cards in. And with there being a total of 26 molecular assemblers, each taking 5 cards, that's 130 per section. That's a little much, but nowhere near as much co-processing units we need for each section. That's 208. So 832 co-processing units for this room. Yeah, that's definitely not going to be enough. Oh, and I meant to make the advanced extended pattern provider. I'm so stupid. Well, at least they're easy. Okay, now we can put these patterns in. That hurt my brain so much, but not as much as this next part. Because we're going to need the quantum computer, which has 250 million crafting storage and 12 co-processing units. And it's made like that. We don't have this, or this, or this, or even this. We do have these though, about 4,000 of them to be exact. What do I need to make these shattered singularities? A reaction chamber, lava, singularity, ender dust, oh, and skystone. We have the ender dust and the skystone. We just need to make the chamber, which is fluix dust, glowstone, a single bucket, a matter condenser, and a vibration chamber. Never made one of these before. Fairly straightforward. Then I guess as soon as we have the space, I'll throw it down right here. But actually thinking about it now, I'm gonna need to actually replace all of these because the next computer we're building won't actually work. They need the advanced extended pattern providers for absolutely everything we have automated. So I'll just need to keep that in mind and then make our pattern with a 0.1% of a bucket. And we can just chuck that in our provider. I was gonna export bus the lava in, but then I realized we could do that with the patterns. So I should just be able to make one shattered singularity, which will actually make 2. And then we just need to set this to auto export. Cool. So now I'm hoping these next parts should be easier. We need concurrent processors. I believe if we have that automated. Yeah, we do. And then the quantum crafting unit. I know I don't have this. Fairly easy to make though. And you got stuck. Guess we're gonna fix that first. I really don't like this machine. I'm sure there's a way we can replace this. Oh yeah, we can do it in a crystal assembler. Oh, and it'll make 4 at a time. Yes, please. And then we can just replace that pattern provider as well and throw all those in. There we go. Easy access. Okay, so now I should be able to craft these all up. Oh yeah, there we go. And that was a whole lot faster. Now just for the 256 million quantum computer storage, which needs the 128 million, which requires quantum storage components, which need quantum storage processors. Okay, I can do that, but how do I get the printed quantum circuit? Through quantum alloy made in a reaction chamber with quantum infusion, which is quantum infused dust and 4 buckets of water. Then the dust is just a shattered singularity through a crusher. Talk about expensive. And after all that, I should be good to make the quantum processor. We'll need this thing. Okay, and we already know how to make that. So we go ahead and craft all of this up. Well, that's going to take a bit of time. Even with this big amazing system, because as I said, these computers, well, they're bad. And there's our 250 million quantum computer storage, which will make the full quantum computer, or at least part 1 of it. Because this power system is actually a 7x7, just like this thing. So that's part 1. So I'm going to need another 256 million quantum computer storage. Then the quantum data entangler, which multiplies all storage by 6. So with the 256 million computer in it, we'll have about 1.5 billion. That's quite a bit. However, with this crafting, I actually want to make some upgrades to our farms here, because these are kind of growing really slow. And as you can see, they're kind of fully grown for a while before they get harvested. So one way I do believe that can be fixed is by getting rid of this, then actually moving this chest up. Oh, that's quite a bit of items. Then placing a modular router down. And then if we ever find our chest, we'll place that right back on top. Then I just have to make this activator module. We're going to have it go down. And the action we're going to have it do, I believe, is right click. And then we need to make a supremium scythe. And it has to be supremium or it'll break. And then we can just go ahead and throw it into our buffer slot. And it'll automatically start harvesting, except as you can see, it's not quite fast enough and it's spewing all the items on the ground. So we'll take some speed upgrades and speed that up fully. And then we're going to build another one of these advanced item collectors, which we'll just place right on top there. And by default, that's actually more than enough and it will just harvest itself. Anyway, there's our entangler. But now we need a multi-threader, which will multiply all our co-processing units by 6 as well. and we'll just need a couple more computer accelerators. But actually thinking about it, before I go any farther, I want to make this a nitro seed. Because the way you get the crystal, as I've shown before, isn't very fun. And we're going to need 4 blocks of 9 to make the seed in the first place. And so if I take the remaining dust we have, and actually take half a stack of Fluix dust, I believe I can put it into the reaction chamber with half a bucket of water, and that'll give us an entire stack. And then seeing as I have the patterns, I can just make a few hundred of this, and it really won't be an issue. Well, until it says we don't have the dust, even though we can make that. So all I'm going to do to fix that issue, I'm just going to set this pattern at 64, and then I'm just going to tell our system to keep 500 of it stocked at all times, which means we'll be able to craft all the blocks we need to go ahead and make our seed. And why aren't you growing? Probably have some weird kind of thing you need, don't you? Actually, there's no crux for it, so I don't know why you're not growing. Wait, can this really only be grown on Insanium farmland? Oh, please tell me that's not a thing. Well, I guess let's try it. Sir, can you grow, please? Okay, I'm not getting this. So let's just craft up our multi-threader. And then now I want to say I just need 10, maybe 12 of the quantum computer accelerators, and then a ton of the cases. I'm going to say about 2 stacks of those. And if I'm being honest, I don't actually think this is enough room. So I might just come out this way. And so now if I build the 7x7x7, making sure to fill in all the floors, roof, and walls, I should now be able to go ahead, place the computer core down, our multi-threader, data entangler, 256 million computer storage. Don't forget, the computer also has 12 processing units and a 256 million inside it as well. And then the rest of this should just be able to be filled up with these accelerators. And so once we seal this off, it'll activate saying it's offline. Where I do just need to put a wireless connector onto the side of it, but I don't want to destroy these just yet, just in case we need to build another one. So I will just go ahead and then place another one of these down over here. I don't think it actually matters where you connect this to, so I'll just connect it to the side and then we'll link them. And it has activated. So if we now go into our system, we have 8,784 coprocessors and well over 3 billion crafting storage. So I think I can get rid of this setup right here, which means we only do have the 1 computer now. However, I do believe if I try to craft up the 6 times netherite block, it should go very quickly, and it'll actually leave the remaining amount for other crafts. And if I do come into one of these sections that is crafting the blocks, you can see each one of the job sections are actually full. So I don't think we need to worry about crafting anymore. And just to clarify, in case you missed it, you do need these advanced extended pattern providers on everything to use this quantum computer. So just make sure you replace them all. Oh, I'm so stupid. This entire room has been a massive waste of time because I didn't realize there was this matrix, which takes everything here, compacts it down into a 7x7, just like this thing, and works a whole lot faster. So let's just hurry up and get into it with the assembler matrix frame. I'm not exactly sure how many of these we're gonna need, so I'll just make a pattern for it, and I'll just make a full stack's worth. And then if I am correct, these just surround the outside of the entire structure. That will just make the frame. Then we're gonna need the assembler matrix wall, which again is very easy. And then once this full room is sealed off, this is where the more complicated items come into play. Because we're gonna need some speed upgrades that require red lumen paintballs. That's made with glowstone, red paintball, which is just matter balls and dye. And I should be able to make a pattern for all of that. However, the only thing different about this is we only need 5, as these act as the acceleration cards, and 5 is the max speed it will be allowed. So installing any more than that will be a waste of time. However, for the rest of the space in here, we're going to want to use matrix pattern cores and the matrix crafting cores, which the pattern cores only requires blue lumen and some extended pattern providers, but we're only going to need 60 of them, because that's about half of the 5x5x5, and the other half is going to be the crafting cores. And now all I have to do is fill this entire machine up and then completely seal it off. which means that was a lot easier than this guy. And I do want to say I'll just connect it to the same terminal as this, and it'll boot right up. Which means if I right click on this, it'll actually open up the assembler matrix where we can throw in all our patterns. So if I go find all the patterns from our extended molecular assemblers, I should just be able to throw these all in, and I should be able to destroy this entire room. And now if I want to craft up the 5 times netherite block, I'm hoping this will be a lot quicker. Oh, wait, no, sorry, 6 times. But I guess there's only one way to find out. Let's activate it. And oh yes, that is going a lot quicker. It's done. It's done. That is definitely a lot quicker. And if we go inside it, we still have a ton of open slots left over. So we shouldn't need another one of these anytime soon. But if we do, we can always break out another wall. And I guess now we have another room to build a whole lot more of these machines. Because I got 3 different patterns in one reaction chamber, and then 4 in another. Don't even get me started on the slicers or the crystal assemblers. We can now put a single pattern in each one of those. But something else I was actually told is about this setup here during one of my live streams is that these cables are very inefficient. Some of you guys told me that these cables are just the way to go because apparently not only can these rods connect to it, but they can transfer a ton more power. These can only transfer 1 million FE a tick when these can transfer 3.2 million a tick. So that's definitely the way to go. However, we're not done there. And that's because our farms here, even though we have them harvesting a lot faster, they're still not growing at the rate I would like. Because we have all these set up with growth accelerators, which take up a lot of space and aren't very efficient. However, the lily pads of fertility, well, if you watched all the mods 9, they're very efficient. They can be just slightly expensive if you want to go through the powdered route, because you need to get into nature's aura and get into different kinds of ingots, which have a whole lot of other stages to it. But I want to use the awakening altar, which just requires earth essence, water, fire, and air. Then a couple pieces of essence, which are made with catalyzing glands, slime pearls, green dye, and a rib bone, which can all be automated through hostile neural networks. And then the only other thing is a vibranium plate, which comes from the ingots, which can come from the seed. However, that has a few requirements of growth itself. But I think that's the way we're going to go. Just grabbing the altar, the awakened pedestals, 4 of them to be exact, and 4 essence vials. And then just under our other altar, I've prepared a little room for us just to get this all set up. So now all I should have to do is create the different kind of seeds, which require different kinds of that. When you guys told me I'd pronounce that, I've already forgotten. And then all the other seeds require the same thing, with one requirement difference being the lava bucket, the water bucket, a glass bottle, and then short grass. And all of these can just be crafted in the normal altar, just like any other seed. And then once we have all of these placed down, I can go ahead and actually set up a modular router. And each one of these pedestals will have to be selected on its own. And each one of them have a different kind of essence. And then all I should really have to do is place this advanced extended pattern provider right below this chest. And then we pull directly out of that chest into the modular router. Then from there, we should just be able to make the pattern, throw it into the provider. And once we get the module set up for the creeper, what do you mean they don't? It's a Christmas creeper. That's great. Here's a regular one. I have an odd feeling the skeleton is going to be a little bit difficult to find. Actually, no, here we go. And then all we have left is the slime, which we'll use a slime gateway for because they become very easy. As you can see, they spawn a ton. And we can just grab you and then just farm all these guys up. And then as you can see, once you've completed it, that's a lot of slime balls, which will bring it up to self-aware. And now we can just go ahead, throw all of these in and begin generating. And that will allow us to create a pattern for this essence, which means I should be able to request 1 lily pad. Oh, can't open that chest. Let's put that there. And each one of these vials will start to fill up, but why didn't those fill? Oh, it's because I never pulled them out of the chest. Those might be important things to add. Then each one of these need to be selected, with the one with 3 pedestals being the essence, and then this other one being the vibranium plate, and finally the center with the lily pad. And that will create our first lily pad of fertility. And then we just need to pull it back into the system. Then from there, all we should have to do is break some of our growth accelerators, build ourselves the little dirt platform, and then completely fill up the space with more water, which that will allow us to place down our lily pad of fertility. So let's just craft about 100. We might need to wait a little bit on that. But now let's look at what this vibranium seed needs. Some insanium blocks and vibranium blocks. So there we go. And then we need magical soil. Oh, that's expensive. Oh wait, no, never mind. That's better with infusion crafting. Insanium blocks and a couple dragon scales with a piece of insanium farmland. Let's just get that done real quick. And I believe if I replace one of these guys, I can still put this on top and the seed down. Sir? Oh no, it goes on top of the farmland and the magic soil goes underneath. I wonder, can it be placed on this farmland though? Yes, it can. Perfect. And that's growing quite quickly. And I do believe we'll still be able to use the lily pads on that as well, as they kind of do an AoE effect, and there's a lot of them. So these are definitely growing a lot faster now, and I don't think we're going to have any more resource issues. But I think that's going to do it for this episode, guys. So if you did enjoy, please like, subscribe, hit that little notification bell to be notified every single time I upload. Also join my Discord, link down in the description below. I've been doing quite a few live streams recently on a complete different world from the one we're on. So if you guys want to check that out and don't want to miss one, make sure to join that Discord. But anyways, again, thank you for watching. Have a great day, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.